So I've been realizing something in the past couple of, I guess, weeks, months that has been sort of bothering me, I guess. And it's that by now at this point in my life I consider myself a feminist. But I say that because before my transition, and even a couple of months into my transition or at least when I say that, I mean like taking testosterone, like a couple months in, like I was not a feminist. I didn't really consider myself one. I agreed that yes, women should have equal rights, and I agreed with all that, but I wasn't like gung-ho, and I didn't buy into a lot of different things that feminism sometimes stands for. And for that reason, I think, or I was that way because I felt like in that time I was holding on to my womanhood, and that's not what I wanted to be doing. And I think that was kind of problematic for me because I made a lot of, well, not a lot, but like I definitely offended some people along the way. And I think I was just kind of lost in that, and I couldn't really explain that to people because they wouldn't really necessarily understand it. And when I did, like, they got it, but they also were just like, so I don't get it. Like, why? Like, if you believe these things, then why are you still a dick? So now that it's been over a year that I've been on testosterone, and I've been, transitioning and all that stuff, I've become comfortable with the term of calling myself a feminist. And I I think it was a big step for me to take. It was almost like it reminded me of when I considered before transition, of course, when I considered myself gay, and I hated the word lesbian because, I mean, it's a female identified word. It just made me cringe because I didn't want to identify with that. It was just, I was a person who liked girls. And yeah, if you want to call me gay, okay, that was the word that worked for me, but I never claimed the word lesbian until like a little bit later on, that I was just like, whatever, yeah, that's probably the best way to describe me, so yes, lesbian. But it took me a while, and I think that's kind of how it was with the whole feminist thing, which is silly because labels are ridiculous to me. But I mean, they count for something, and people judge you for them. So while I would love to have a labelless life and a labelless being and everything, I do have to label myself. So I do. Um, you know, now I feel that way. The things that I've been running into, though, and I won't necessarily, like tell you about the certain situations or whatever, because that's not necessarily important. But um, now that I am a man, I feel like on a certain level, and this is primarily when I'm talking to other women who are either feminist or like whatever, that I kind of get discredited because I'm a male. Not that they don't agree with things that I'm saying or anything, but like certain things that I do or how I act or whatever. Like I've been told that I act like a dude, and okay, I mean, I guess that's kind of accurate. But like I think in like a derogatory way, they tell me that like you're such a dude, like you're almost like saying you're a jerk kind of thing, or at least that's kind of how I took it. Like with the intonation and everything, like it just kind of sounded that way. And I find that like yes, I am a dude now, but I'm trying not to be like a jerky dude, and it's kind of hard. And I feel like it's when somebody says that to me, or like even if they're just joking around or whatever, like, oh my god, like you're such a dude, like wow, I can't believe it, whatever. It's almost like you were, I don't know. I feel like it discredits the fact that I was ever a woman, and than I was ever raised as one, because I was. And I think that a lot of the times, like, I'm not really cut that slack, and I'm put on the same level as other cisgendered males. And while on one level, yeah, I would love to be put on the same level, I'm not, and I never will be. It's just an experience, a life experience that I have not had that other that cisgender men have in common. I don't have that in common with them. Like, there's certain things that I've just never gone through. There's a way that they were raised that's different than mine. I lived 25 years as a woman, and that's different than some of the people that I see on Tumblr or on Facebook or on even on YouTube and stuff. They're like 18, 19 years old, and it's a different, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about them. Good for them that they're transitioning so young, but it's a little bit different. They're not living into their 20s. They're coming from a less experienced place, and they're moving forward from there, and that's great and awesome. I feel like I'm a little bit different because I lived a little bit longer into the role, and I kind of just didn't really find myself until, a year and a half ago or so. And it was something that I was struggling with. Like, the trans issues were not as big when I was 18. I didn't even know really what it was. And same thing with like 21 and 22. Like, that stuff was just starting to come out of the woodwork. So, and that's when I really started to heavily deal with this stuff. But I feel like just because I'm a man now doesn't mean that I don't understand what it means to be a woman. Just because not really reject. I think I've been coming to terms with the fact that yes, I was born female, and that I had that life. And while it stings sometimes, and like, I don't really like to look at my old name, and I don't like to hear it so much, and I don't really like even looking at pictures and stuff. Like, sometimes I'm just like, wow, like, I don't want to look at that. I feel like that is a part of me that I'll never erase, like, and that's my life, so I should embrace it. And I don't think that it's fair that now, because I'm a man, I am suddenly put on this same level as any other man who, I mean, when I talk to other guys and cisgendered guys, and I say that I'm a feminist, or if I say something, or even not even if I say anything, like, if I'm just around other guys and like something happens and they say something that's like derogatory towards women, or they joke around about something, I normally don't laugh because I don't find it funny. And they'll just be like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, okay. And if they pick up on the fact that I am offended or that I'm not laughing, they'll just be like, oh, like, what's up? Like, and I'll just say, like, something, fairly straightforward and whatever, and just be like, like, whatever, like, I'm a feminist, or maybe I won't even have to explain that part, but they don't seem to understand it, and they don't really take me seriously because I am a man. And at the same token, I think that some women, I mean, I'm still learning about a lot of things with, like, feminist, like, theory and stuff. Like, I don't read any of that stuff, but I see things, and, I mean, generally, like, I think I agree with a lot of the things that people are talking about and blogging about and everything on the internet. And, I mean, so I'm no expert, and I try not to say, like, when people are having, like, heated arguments on Facebook and stuff, like, I try not to put in too much because I don't know a lot, because I'm still learning, but, it's a lot more than I knew before, but it's kind of a weird feeling when somebody who, kind of like, when a person who you generally used to be, and I mean, like, female or whatever, kind of discounts your previous being. And I mean, I've changed, yes, I've definitely changed, for sure, there's no doubt about that, but a lot of me is still here. I mean, I would like to say that 75% of me is still here from before, and that's a pretty good, it's a pretty good percentage. And I mean, a lot of that is just in the way that I was raised too, and I was raised to be female, and a lot of things, like, I'll still go out, and if I'm walking alone at night, I feel threatened. Um, you know, if I'm in a room filled with all guys, like, I feel different, and I feel a little bit not threatened per se, but a little bit uncomfortable. And, like, yes, I am one of the guys, and I know that they see me as that now, and whether or not they know that I'm trans or not, it just feels, I still feel like it's in my mind to feel somehow like I could potentially be in a bad situation here. And I can sympathize with that, and I understand that. And I feel like some people don't understand that I know that. I feel like some people don't understand that I know what it's like to have a period, and how annoying it is, and how painful it can be. Because I do. And yeah, granted now, thankfully, I don't have it anymore, but I still, you know, I didn't forget what that was like. And, you know, if I should ever have to go off testosterone or whatever before I get a hysterectomy, I'll get it back. But I think it just kind of, I guess I won't say that I'm pissed off, because it's not like people are, like, out to get me with these, you know, like, any kind of accusations or anything like that. Like, they're not. I just think it's just people's perceptions of me are different, and I've just noticed that this is something that's kind of bothered me, and I think I'm just really really accepting of the fact that now, like, I do call myself a feminist, and I embrace that. And I also embrace the fact that I was born female. And I don't really have as much of a problem with it, I think, as I did before. I was much more rejecting of it before. And now that I'm okay with it, like, I just want to kind of make another step forward and, you know, go with that. But it's hard. To really, I mean, I guess it's not, like, hard, but it's challenging, is probably the better word, sometimes to be around people who either, whether or not they know that I'm trans, you know, just to see how they interact with me, and to see how they, swallow certain things that I say, and certain things that I do, and how I act, and how they react to it, and it's definitely shifted, and I generally feel like I'm much more of a kind of like a jerk, but I'm not acting like a jerk per se. I just feel like I'm kind of pushed into that category of, like, oh, like, I'm a dude, so, you know, stereotype this and stereotype that, as whatever that was, and that's not how I am. I mean, everybody's different, and I wouldn't want to do that to any other dude, you know, like, and I think that it's just something, I don't know, I was just thinking about it, and I figured I would make a video, and it's really long, I'm sorry, but yeah, I thought maybe that was some interesting things to percolate in your mind if you haven't thought of that already, other trans people who are watching this, and even my friends and stuff who haven't really considered this. It's just something that I think about, and I don't know, just wanted to talk. I feel like this was a good talk. I liked it. Maybe we could do it again sometime. Alright, I'll end here. I'll see you later.